What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be speaking about 3 synastry aspects which are soulmate indicators between two people, also known as soulmate aspects. So the first one is having your North Node conjuncting your partner's personal planets like their Sun, their Moon, or even their Venus or Mars. Since when it comes to the North Node, this is really important, especially when it comes to guiding us towards our life purpose in this lifetime. And also when it comes to highlighting and pointing out lessons that need to be learned within this lifetime in order to be on track with the overall life's purpose. Having someone's planets conjuncting the North Node also makes the relationship feel like it is one that is significant. It feels very meaningful, like it is one that's taking you out of your comfort zone, but it's also teaching you something that you need to learn through being able to get out of the comfort zone. And with that feeling in the relationship, everything can feel quite like everything feels right, and the relationship feels very purposeful, very meaningful, and it does run quite deep. And it feels like being able to really grow and evolve through this relationship. Even with this aspect, there can be some challenges at times between the two partners, and it can even feel a little bit uncomfortable. But there still feels like there's this reason why two people are brought together by the universe with this synastry aspect, because there is. And it can actually be triggering at times when it comes to feeling as though they're being pushed beyond their comfort zone with this synastry aspect, but being able to evolve and really grow in ways that are necessary happens in this relationship between the North Node person and their partner. At times it can actually get quite intense, but there's a lot of changes that occur through being in this relationship, and it's necessary changes. And even in this relationship, when they look back, they can see how this has really encouraged and inspired them to be able to grow in ways that are very helpful and even essential when it comes to being able to be on path towards what feels like their intended life's path. And this relationship just brings out a strong sense of destiny, and it feels fated, and it feels like it is also very purposeful, and it feels right, like they headed in the right direction. Like, take for instance, if it is the Sun conjuncting the North Node. The North Node person is going to experience this as the Sun person really shining a light upon parts of themselves where they can grow, and also where they may need to be able to improve and pretty much become the best version of themselves. Between the North Node person and the Sun person, they are very drawn to each other with this conjunction between the Sun and the North Node to begin with. But the North Node person experiences this inspiration from the Sun person, also shining a light on parts or areas in their lives where they could become better and where they could improve. And it is intense as far as also experiencing this feeling of being pushed to their limits, but there is this feeling of being supported by the Sun person when it comes to being able to really become the best version of themselves in this regard. And that's because the Sun person is going to offer motivation, support, and that's even when it comes to the North Node person being able to pursue and go after any of their dreams or take risks towards things that they may have felt weren't possible. And in that way, this relationship is really encouraging, but it's also one that is going to align the North Node person on their life's path. And the Sun person here is actually helping them step into that. And it's not just the Sun, it can also be the Moon or Venus or even Mars. But this is an aspect that's going to make for the relationship to even be life-changing. And that's why it's like they connect on a deep level, a soul level, and it is a soulmate aspect. Speaking of soulmate aspects, another one would have to be having your Venus conjuncting your partner's Pluto, or Venus-Pluto aspects, because having Venus trining Pluto can also be a soulmate aspect. When it comes to the love between two people who have Venus-Pluto in these aspects, it can be very transformative, and it can make the relationship one that is transformative overall. It can actually be quite intense when it comes to the emotional connection and even the physical connection between the two partners. But when it comes to having this aspect, it's definitely one where they're connecting on a deep soul level. Like when it comes to their emotions, they're going to go quite deep in their feelings in this relationship with this aspect. And between the Pluto person and the Venus person, there can be a very strong attraction between the two of them. They feel like it is one that is fated as well, and that's a feeling they can get from having this aspect in their relationship between the two of them. Like when it comes to the attraction that they feel between each other, it is one that goes quite deep. And when it comes to the chemistry between the Venus person and the Pluto person with the Synastry aspect, it is one that is quite intense, but it's because they're drawn to each other in a very deep way. They're drawn to each other on a soul deep level. For the Venus person, they may be really drawn to the Pluto person because of the Pluto person's mysterious energy. And when it comes to the way that the Pluto person makes the Venus person feels, it is in a way that they're not used to. It's something very different to what they're used to, and it can feel like the Pluto person understands them in a very deep way, which makes the Venus person feel very deeply in this relationship with the Pluto person. And just generally in their relationship, this aspect creates a sense of all or nothing. And when it comes to things like the love and the affection between the Pluto person and the Venus person, they can have this aspect really brings out the sense of all or nothing when it comes to the way that they are dealing with each other. Like it's very unlikely that it's going to just be casual. And when it comes to every interaction that they have between the Venus person and the Pluto person, it's going to be one that's very passionate, very intense, and filled with a lot of meaning. And between the Pluto person and the Venus person here, the Pluto person knows that they have this hold over the Venus person, and the Venus person is very captivated by the Pluto person in this relationship. But there is the sense of Pluto person really wants to merge with the Venus person. And when it comes to any of the challenges, it can be at times, this relationship can bring up a lot of possessiveness and even feelings like jealousy. And even in spite of that, this connection is still one that is very intense, it's very strongly felt, and that's because it is a soulmate aspect. They feel and recognize that this relationship is one that's quite special. It is one that is very powerful. It's like one that neither of them have experienced before, because when it comes to the passion, the love in this relationship, they do really go deep. And when it comes to this connection, it is one that's very difficult to ignore. When it comes to the soulmate aspects, having the moon conjuncting or even trining Neptune is another one. When it comes to Neptune is this dreamy, intuitive, and even very spiritual energy. And the moon is representative of our emotions, our feelings, and instincts. So having the moon positively aspecting Neptune in your synastry is going to bring out a lot of empathy between two people and a spiritual connection, as well as unconditional love. There is a very gentle and even magical bond between the two people. They feel like there's an understanding and a knowing of each other. In so many ways, this relationship feels like a dream. It does feel like they are in a relationship that's quite magical. And when it comes to Neptune is also very romantic. It brings out this feeling of emotional depth between the moon person and the Neptune person, but also fantasy. And for the moon person, they can feel quite captivated by the Neptune person and feel very seen in a different way. And the energy between them is very calm, it's very soft, it's very gentle, and because of that, it's very comfortable. And the emotions between the Neptune person and the moon person really flow almost effortlessly between the two of them. At times with this aspect, they can feel like they're in their own world. There is a lot of peace, there's a lot of understanding between the two of them, and this relationship can actually be very healing for both the Neptune person and the moon person. The moon person is going to feel like it's safe to open up, to be vulnerable with the Neptune person, because the Neptune person here brings a lot of compassion to the relationship, brings a lot of unconditional love to this relationship with the moon person. And what having this aspect really does is make the relationship feel like a fairy tale. And it's a very beautiful aspect to share with someone in a relationship, although at times there may be some idealizing, especially because with Neptune, this can happen that there's a lack of groundedness. So when it comes to the challenging side of having this aspect, it can be at times that they see each other with rose-colored glasses on. However, they're still connecting on this very deep soul level, and there is a sense of being in a connection where they're both on the same wavelength, especially when it comes to emotionally and how they are feeling towards each other in this relationship with this aspect. The only thing is that Neptune's always going to bring some potential of illusions, and what's important with having this aspect is ensuring that they maintain a sense of groundedness at times. But having this synastry aspect with each other is very beautiful. They do even have what feels like a psychic connection at times, because they're able to really be in tune with each other and be able to pick up on each other's moods. And it's like they're very sensitive to each other with this aspect. Well, that does it for this video on 3 soulmates indicating aspects in synastry. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it helpful. And if you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos. Well, that is where I love and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye guys.